The GoPro Hero 12 Black has been out now for the last 8 months, and I've been using this camera pretty much for all of the content that you can see on my channel, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to talk about my favorite features of the Hero 12 as well as my favorite accessories. And since GoPro launches the camera a year, let's talk about what I hope we can expect from the Hero 13. So the first thing on the list is the image quality of the Hero 12. In my opinion, this is the best action camera on the market, and it goes without saying that I use 5K, 8x7, 30 FPS, probably the most out of all the settings. It gives you a stunning image. It allows you to capture the motion blur, particularly if you keep all the settings in check with a shutter speed of 1/60. And it just allows you to create some insane footage. I think a lot of people sometimes underestimate how powerful this thing is. And if you get the settings right, you will be surprised how freaking great this camera is. Alternatively, what I also really appreciate about the camera is shooting in 4K, 8x7, 60 FPS. I usually use that mode if I know I want to slow things down, and you're also able to turn these settings actually into presets via the app, which makes it much easier to flick through the settings without having to change each individual preset. So I think if you are someone like me who is a creator who is always on the go and you happen to fly FPV drones as well, this camera is perfect for that because you are able to use it for vlogging, FPV, POV, and anything in between. This also brings me to my next point, which is flying FPV with the GoPro. I think this camera is perfect when you want to capture FPV drone content because you're able to stabilize the footage directly in the GoPro player, which has RealSteady integrated if you purchase it. For those who don't know, RealSteady is a program that allows you to stabilize your footage, which is not only relevant for FPV pilots, but also for people who just want to stabilize their footage later in post. But this is likely not going to be needed for you because you can just turn on Hypersmooth. But for people who fly FPV like myself, RealSteady is a game changer, and the fact that this is all integrated within the app and being able to stabilize your footage with a click of a button is pretty insane to me. So anything that helps me to enhance my workflow and being more efficient with it, GoPro pretty much has you covered on this one. Now, the color profiles on the GoPro is also something I want to quickly touch base on because I think they're really awesome. If you're someone like me who likes to have the most control in post later, you can just shoot in the flat color profile, which gives you such an amazing dynamic range, and you can get really creative later when you want to color grade it. By the way, if you don't know how to color grade, I do sell a Cinematic LUT Bundle, which has been carefully curated for the GoPro Hero 12, and you can just with a click of a button pretty much color grade all your footage. I'm going to link it down below, and if you use the code HERO12, you can secure yourself a 20% discount. But if you prefer to have the colors already ready to go within the camera, you can just shoot in the natural color profile, which I am really impressed by. I think the natural color profile is very beneficial, particularly if you use it for vlogging content. I still prefer to use flat for all my FPV stuff because once again, I want to have a lot of control later in post. But the natural color profile is perfect for vlogs because that allows you to just skip the color grading process completely, which is much easier and more efficient because I believe a vlog doesn't need to be as stylized as my FPV drone content. The GoPro Hero 12 is also, in my opinion, the best vlogging camera that's currently on the market. When you pair it up with some accessories, which I'm getting to in a moment, you can turn this into a vlogging beast. So you have the media mod, which is obviously what you need in order to attach any sort of extra accessories to your GoPro. So the media mod is here attached. We have a shotgun Rode mic, which is ensuring that we have better audio. We also have the Zeus light, which obviously is there to light up the scene, particularly if you vlog at nighttime. This thing is a game changer. The GoPro is actually attached to the bite mount, which is really useful when I want to detach it. So for all of my POV shots, I'm able to just put it in my mouth like that and then record. To me, this is super crucial because I like to switch between POV shots and handheld stuffs. And this pole here is actually the 3-way 2.0. I'm gonna link all the products down in the description, so don't worry too much about the names. This pole is actually multifunctional because you can use it as a tripod, just like that. But then also you can extend it for a pole like that. So as you can see, I like to be as versatile as possible. And when it comes to vlogging, you wanna make it as easy as possible on yourself because a lot of people argue maybe, oh, but why don't you use a DSLR camera? You get better quality footage. Whilst that may be true, I believe I couldn't be as consistent with vlogging if it wouldn't be for an easy setup like this. But enough talking about the Hero 12. Let's chat about what I believe the Hero 13 could look like. I think GoPro has a huge opportunity here at hand because I believe that there is 2 separate groups that are slowly unfolding amongst the consumers. Group 1 are the users that are usually using the GoPro for their family vacation, their entry level. They just want to have a cool camera that they can film as many things as possible with it, and they don't care much about all the different settings. All they care about is high quality footage, easy to use, and that's it. And then there's group 2, which I believe is really interesting here, and there's a huge opportunity for GoPro. Group 2 are the pro users, which includes myself, who really want to push the limits of the GoPro. And I think there's a really big opportunity for GoPro to develop a camera that is capable of even more. And this may be an unpopular opinion, but I do believe there is a chance for GoPro maybe to bring back different tier devices. If you go back to the GoPro Hero 4, for example, GoPro had a GoPro Hero White, GoPro Hero Silver, and GoPro Hero Black. I could imagine maybe GoPro brings out a GoPro Hero 13 Silver, let's say, and a GoPro Hero 13 Black, with the black being directed more at the pro users, so we would have a bigger sensor, we would maybe have interchangeable lenses, even more dynamic range, a better log format, anything that would allow us pro users to make even more out of our GoPro. Versus the GoPro Hero 13 Silver, let's say, would be directed at the entry-level users, the ones that, as I said earlier, are the ones who just want a cool, compact-sized camera that they can throw around, give their kids, even if they want, and just film dope content with. This camera would obviously also be able to capture all the high-quality content, but I just think it just would be a bit more user-friendly for the entry-level people. With that being said, I do believe it's highly unlikely for GoPro to go back to different tiered cameras. Also, from a production point of view, I think it's quite hard to justify to allocate certain budgets for the entry-level GoPro and then certain budgets to the pro-level GoPro. Instead, it's more likely that everything will go into one camera, into the Hero 13, which will hopefully have a bigger sensor, 1-inch sensor or bigger maybe, that we will be able to shoot at 6K or even 8K resolution, which I believe is probably unlikely, but even 6K resolution would be really awesome. Or at least a 5K, 8x7, or ideally a 1x1, 60 FPS mode and a 4K, 8x7 or 1x1, 120 frames per second mode, because especially from an FPV drone pilot, it would be so beneficial to be able to crop less in post, because obviously once you stabilize your footage, you do lose a fair bit. So that would be quite nice to be able to shoot particularly in 120 frames per second with the full sensor utilized. Another feature that we may see with the Hero 13 would be interchangeable lenses that go beyond the lens mode 2.0, but more something that will allow you to get even more cinematic content, whether it would be like a 25mm lens or maybe multiple lenses on the device. I know that's probably unlikely because the size of the GoPro is quite small, but maybe they changed the size completely. I mean, we have had the same size for multiple generations now, so maybe it's now time to change that up. It's really hard to speculate about this, but these are all things that get me excited about the new Hero 13 when it comes out later this year. And hopefully there will be a lot of things that will be helpful for the pro users, because I think what we already able to capture with the GoPro HERO12 these days is pretty insane. So being able to push that even further, whether it is improving the image quality or the dynamic range, these are all things that really matter, particularly for a pro user. Even the entry user does appreciate higher quality footage. So these are all things, as I said, they really excite me, and I'd love to hear what you think. What do you think the Hero 13 will look like? What would you like to see in the Hero 13? And do you agree or disagree with anything I said? I would love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I hope this video was helpful. Leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let's go.